Boys, we are back on some more Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, and today the mod is back. Oh my god, I'm so excited. My Little Warband has made a return to the workshop, and you can go ahead and play it right now for 1.0.1, which is of course the current patch for Bannerlord. So some absolute legend has gone ahead and updated My Little Warband and put it onto the workshop. Hopefully he got permission from the original mod creator, because as many of us know, Muse is no longer modding, at least at the moment. Hopefully he'll make a return in the future, because he made some of the most gorgeous mods out there. But My Little Warband is an absolute legendary one, and one I recommend you using if you've maybe already done a playthrough and you're looking for something a little bit more spicy, because what it does is it allows you to go ahead and create your very own unit tree and also your very own unit roster with a simple couple clicks of the button. It's a super cool one. You can adjust anything in these units. You can add more units to them. You can go ahead and basically create yourself a very large unit tree. You can create yourself a very small unit tree. It's a very cool system, and as you can see, like I just did all of that right there, and you can go in and basically change each individual soldier and give them a whole different type of equipment. So it's super cool. So basically, to go ahead and activate this, of course you need to download this and Harmony, which are on the workshop. Like, as I said, I'll leave links to them down below in the description. But for example, you have to go up to any single settlement and make sure you go ahead and hit this button. Make sure you see what it says, because this mod does also allow you to go ahead and recruit the vanilla units as well. But if you click this button, then it goes ahead and tells you that it's been set to custom troops. You will now be able to start recruiting your very own custom roster. However, you're going to have to make some additions to it. You're going to have to basically create that unit roster first, and that's really simple to do. All you do is you go on this screen, you right click to bring up the encyclopedia, and then you click shift and left click on the unit you want to edit. You can then just navigate through this system, but I always find it's kind of easy to go back and then go, oh, I want to change this unit, and then go back once again. You have plenty of options. So one thing you can do is turn off all the restrictions. So if I wanted to make the most sickest level 1 units in the world, I could do that. I could just turn off all these restrictions, give them literally like a 1000 one-handed skill, and edit all their equipment. You can do that, which is kind of cool. I mean, I can give them like the best equipment in the game as tier 1 soldiers, you know, 51 head armor, and then these guys just go around level 1 and cause mayhem. You'll see that the soldier is right there, and I will be able to, if I go back out and then back in, I'll then be able to recruit tier. Oh no, he's a tier 2. Okay, yeah. So you can basically adjust them and recruit them that way. All the units will of course start off at tier 1 here, but of course that isn't everything. You do have a ton new options. So one cool thing as well this mod does have is a copy template button as well. So you can basically go ahead and find a unit you like, which I think is a really cool feature. Add that in, and then you can then adjust it. So if you're like, oh, I really like the Mamluk guard, but I don't like it, but we don't have a shield or something along them lines, you can then go in and then adjust them. You also have multiple additions right here as well. So for example, right now this unit of cavalry that I chose, the Mamluk Lance unit right here, they currently just have all 4 slots taken up. However, if I was to change one of these to an arming sword, for example, every one in, oh, I changed all of them by mistake. Basically, if you, there you go, perfect. By changing that, this basically means that every 1 in 4 soldiers will be equipped with this sword rather than a Mamluk Lance. This is great because it means that every unit isn't going to be looking the same, and you can basically adjust a bunch of units in the same unit, which is very cool. So you may also think that this is a little bit OP, and I think it's really up to the player to go ahead and kind of go on with their like digression. It's up to them to create a balanced or an OP unit. It really is. I recommend just playing with all of these off, so that way you're going to be kind of matching the AI. And again, maybe if you want to make like some ultra super good late tier 7 unit, you can do that by simply just knocking these off later on down the line once you have the rest of your roster. So on these lower tiers, so this is a tier 2 soldier. He has 50 skill cap right now and 200 points left. This means that this guy can have 50 points in any of these options, but he can't go above that, and he has 152 spent. So for example, if I wanted to make this guy an infantryman, I could go ahead and give him 50 one-handed, 50 athletics, maybe some throwing skills, and then I can even give him maybe some polearm as well. Great, cool. He's got his kind of stats ready to go, which is cool. And then weapon-wise, again, like he's a tier 2, so he has access to a few more items. We want to give him maybe a spear because of that polearm with the awesome-looking flags. Maybe we also want to go ahead and give him in his second infantry slot maybe like a shield. And then finally, maybe we'll go and give him a sword. Yeah, we'll give him a sword right there. And then finally, probably some jabs. Yeah, some throwing weapons would be kind of nice as well. Maybe some throwing daggers. So boom, just like that, I've created a tier soldier. Obviously, I'd need to go in. Well, I don't have to. I could just basically leave these blank if I wanted to. And this would be my unit. So for example, if I didn't want to have variety in my unit, I just wanted kind of individual stuff, I could go in and put all of these to empty, so they just basically are equipped with the one unit roster and there's no variety. But I could also go in and maybe find, okay, so we've got some guys with spears. I don't really want all of my tiers to have spears, so maybe I'll go in and maybe give them a sword in their slot 1 as well. So maybe some guys will have spears, some guys will have swords, and that'll make for a nice little anti-cavalry defense, which is a very, very nice system. Armor-wise, again, we could go in and be like, okay, well, let's go ahead and create ourselves and you know, a unit with some good armor. And again, these are all tied. All the equipment is tied to the tier, so you're not going to be able to equip them with the best units, the best armor in the game, of course, unless you have that off. And boom, just like this, we've created a pretty goddamn dope guy for a tier 2 soldier. We can rename him as well to I don't know, we'll rename him to tier 2, why not? I mean, you can also change his appearance as well, his culture. So for example, if I wanted someone who was looking maybe a little bit more like the Azura, I can do that. And I can also change gender as well, which is again a very nice feature. Mount wise, you can again maybe I want to give this guy a horse, make him more of a cavalry unit roster, and then give him a horse saddle, maybe a camel saddle. Oh my god, that's having the time of his life in Ibiza right now. But yeah, we'll give him the Lamlar, why not? And there you go, boom, right there, we've created this unit. And you can see he is now currently my tier 2 soldier. I think he's a noble unit. You know, there you go. He's my tier 2 right here. There's no upgrades coming off of him, which is why it looks like that. But yeah, you can see, boom, right there. My level 1 recruit is a very good cavalry. Obviously, I cheated there to go ahead and give this. You can see the different sets as well, which is kind of cool as well. Yeah, you can see some of the additions I made to the units. Which, yeah, then I really like that. I mean, you just go in, you go ahead and recruit. So you can see my tier 1 has now gone to these tiers. They are much more expensive because of all their armor and everything. So that is a bit more scaled up, I believe. Whereas if we were to go to, if we were to turn the recruitment off, and you see these guys, yeah, they're 20. So the cost is scaled, I believe, with the unit, but the upkeep isn't interesting, which is kind of fun. So yeah, you can really have some fun with it. Basically create yourself a very unique unit roster. You could have a unit roster from every single culture, which would be very cool. Also, I believe this does work with custom unit mods. So for example, if I quickly go grab Swardian armor. So again, I've gone ahead and grabbed Swardian armor, and I'll turn off the gear restriction just that way I can show you guys. I mean, if I go to maybe just the chest pieces, you'll be able to see that this is now in the list. So I can go ahead and give this guy, again, once it loads, the amazing medieval armor, and I believe this will work with pretty much any mod out there that adds in armor. Again, this will be a little bit more messy than your vanilla stuff. You maybe have a few more tendencies to actually cause a crash by doing this. But as you can see, you can create yourself your very own medieval roster, which is just so goddamn cool. Something I would love to see, again, I know the modder isn't currently updating this, but maybe someone else can add a bit of a search feature somewhere. Like I click this, I open this up, and then maybe give me the option to search for an item would be amazing. Or just open this screen up so I can see way more of these than the average ones would be very cool. But yeah, you can see this works with Swardian armor, so go out and use it. Go out and let me know what type of unit rosters you're going to be creating. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I upload Bannerlord content pretty much every single day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.